Hello everyone, and welcome to Symphony Preview on Helena Civic Television. My name is Cameron. I'm the Symphony's Director of Development and Communications, and we're sitting down today with Maestro Allan R. We are chatting about Masterworks 2, a very exciting concert that we have coming up in just a few weeks. Maestro Scott, can you kick things off by just telling us a little bit about what we have to look forward to with this concert?
Yeah, and this is the second of the 6 main Masterworks, which are also home streamed. You can watch it online, home stream your Helena Symphony, live broadcast. But we encourage people to be in the hall, and we do so as we're filming this. If the transmission rate is substantial or high, we ask people to wear a mask. If it's low or moderate, they don't. It's optional. The orchestra and chorus are rapid tested before every rehearsal and concert, so we really want to make sure people feel that it's a safe place to gather. And with these protocols in place, it's blessed by the county health department, which is really good. Part of this year of reclaiming your life through music, why we had opening night with Beethoven's Ninth in it, that's such an aggressive celebration, but there also, we don't want to be thinking that we're not looking at both sides of this year of this coin, and that yes, in many ways we're glad to somewhat try to be back to normal, but at the same time we can't not reflect on what has happened in the past year and a half. And that's what this concert is about. Consolation and Remembrance is what I'm calling it. I don't usually come up with themes for concerts other than Symphony Under the Stars, but this one permeates this idea that I wanted to take a moment to pause, reflect, think, feel, and it's a fairly dramatic year. Many people lost people from the pandemic, but it's been a difficult year and a half in general. So this music perhaps will help us tap into some of that in a healing way. We're going to first begin with 3 works by Mahler. You know, we do a lot of music by Mahler. People think, oh my God, Mahler, it's so heavy and it's this and that. But these 3 Mahlers are miniatures, little miniatures. They're works that were supposed to be part of larger works, are part of larger works. And these little Mahler miniatures are in no way have much conflict at all. They're very ethereal, transcendent. The biggest one that's used, it became famous after Robert Kennedy was assassinated. Leonard Bernstein performed this movement from his 5th Symphony, known as the Adagietto, which just means a slow tempo. But Mahler would perform it separately as a conductor. He gave this work actually not as a memorial type of piece. He presented it to his wife when he proposed to her. She was a composer, at least up until they got married. And he presented it to his young wife, Alma, as that was his engagement proposal. He just handed her the score and she knew it, just for harp and strings. And it's this beautiful, beautiful reflective piece that has sort of evolved to be used during times of crisis to help us heal. Again, Bernstein used it when Robert Kennedy died. He performed it at the National Cathedral as part of that service. So that's part of there. The other 2 works on either side of that, we're first going to do a movement that Mahler wrote for his 1st symphony and later took out of it, Blumine, or Blossoms. And Blumine is a work that is very reflective. It's sort of a song between an oboe almost drifting away as the trumpet stays present while the rest of the orchestra accompanies them. And it's also very reflective. And then the Adagietto from the 5th Symphony. And then finally, a movement from the 3rd Symphony that Mahler didn't necessarily extract it, but another composer, the well-known British composer Benjamin Britten, did, and re-orchestrated it for a normal-sized orchestra. The 3rd Symphony that Mahler wrote is the longest symphony ever written, 110 minutes. It's a massively big orchestra. But he writes it for a normal-sized orchestra. Britten rearranges it. It doesn't change a note. And it's the 3rd Symphony is all about basically when we die, what happens? And it's this: what children tell me, what animals tell me, and what different parts of our life offer to us. And this movement, what the wildflowers tell me, what nature tells me. And so that's what this is about. And so it doesn't really have a concrete meaning, but it's his reflection on how nature, as the transcendentalist, and Mahler was writing during the time when the transcendentalists were writing poems and painting works. And transcendentalism is basically the closest way we can get to a God is through nature. You often see a big field, big sunrise or sunset or a wheat field, and slowly in there is a man maybe hoeing the field, very small. meaning man's significance is very insignificant on the larger scheme of the world. But that is the closest thing we can get to something godly through nature. It's very transcendental type of thinking. Walt Whitman was a transcendentalist. Brahms, in many ways, if he could have read English, would have been a transcendentalist. But this is Mahler's sort of transcendental type of philosophy, in that we can find the gods or the heaven in each other through nature. And so he deals, so these three short little movements, that's what they do, and they're very healing. Then the second half of the work is this operatic Stabat Mater. Stabat Mater is a prayer from the church in Latin that deals with, it's sort of the resuscitation of when the Virgin Mary is handed her dead son's body. There's sculptures, paintings to this, and here she is, and it's not so much this holy mother, it's just a mom holding her dead son who was put to death. And that imagery is powerful, and Rossini, who is strictly an opera composer, he stopped composing early on and never composed again, but it was probably one of the most famous, more famous than Beethoven. They were living at the same time, and he just said, I'm done. In his last opera, William Tell, which is very famous overture, The Lone Ranger, people think of that theme. The William Tell, after that, he sort of picks up where William Tell left off musically, and he captures this prayer in the same way that Verdi, nearly a century later, captures his Requiem. Very operatic. Both interesting, Rossini and Verdi were both atheists, interestingly enough. But they both captured this powerful Requiem that is operatic in the sense that it's so dramatic. You hear the cries of loss and drama and devastation. Mm-hmm. And that's what this Rossini's Stabat Mater is. So I like the fact that there's this prayer that's very humanistic, that it's a mother mourning the death of her son. And at the same time, there's this operatic drama. So it's very entertaining and powerful.
Yeah.
And it's not done. The Rossini Stabat Mater is hardly ever done, not like the Verdi Requiem, which we've done many times. But this is a powerful and work of consoling, and allows us to remember, pause, reflect. There are moments of quiet. The Rossini moment is a moment of visceral energy and absolute gorgeous operatic beauty.
Definitely. And I think that pieces like this is the kind of concert that really makes you, even if you're not in the world of music, even if you don't really understand classical music as a lot of people know it as, this is the kind of concert that reaches out to people, and it transcends just music or just a concert. It is so much about what we are experiencing as a global community right now, and in a way just uniting us in all of the things that we have felt about the things that we can't control in life and what it all means, I think. And I think that it ties really well into the Helena Symphony's not only mission of engaging, enriching, transforming, and inspiring lives through music, but also our core values. This concert specifically, we are really focusing on our core value of community engagement. We will be partnering for this concert with the Friendship Center, which is a local nonprofit. October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, so I think that this is a really wonderful concert to reflect on not only ourselves, but our community as a whole, and all the healing that we need to go through after this past year and a half, and just through living in general.
And people can be active in that engagement, right? They can participate by bringing things.
Definitely. We will be doing a toiletry and probably microwavable foods drive at the concert. We will have buckets available where people can take their donations. And this is what we do. This is what music is for. It's to bring our community together and to lift people up. And so we're really happy to continue to partner with amazing organizations and bring music to our community, whether it's online or in the concert hall.
One thing about music, and this is an economic study that goes back, I was part of in the Avenue of the Arts 30 years ago, working with then Mayor Rendell became governor, that when we experience something that artistic, could be a Broadway show, going to a museum, an opera, whatever, within 48 hours, there's this energy we'll want to better ourselves. We buy the print from the museum that we love. We buy the recording from the rock artist that we went to, or we buy we want to subscribe, or we want to do something. We watch PBS and we feel this need to better ourselves. But there's also another, and that inspires a lot of economic development in a community. But the other thing it does is that it inspires us to take action. When we better ourselves, we want to help better our community. And this is a great way to help the Friendship Center of people who truly need help. We have partnered with the Florence Crittenden Home before. We have partnered, and now the Friendship Center. This is an opportunity for people to give back in a very easy way.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Very easy way to bring toiletries or microwavable food to the concert. We do this with the Helena Food Share for the Symphony Under the Stars, and we generate over 18,000 pounds. That's more food collected in one day than they do in months and months and months. And this really, truly makes an impact. Definitely. So we encourage people to, as they're coming, whether they're coming to just come to the concert or because it really is making an impact, the idea of consolation and remembrance, either way, they can add that extra level of engagement for themselves.
Definitely.
And doing something so simple like this, it seems so easy for an individual to do it, but it truly has an enormous impact.
Of course.
So,
and I think one thing that's kind of challenging sometimes is communicating how can someone become involved with the Helena Symphony. And it really is as simple as attending one of our concerts. And we actually have a really great opportunity for people to give back to the Symphony. In November, we will be hosting a Solid Gold Happy 50th Maestro fundraising party on November 20th, 2021. It will begin at 5:30. Tickets are $100, and all of the proceeds of the auction that we will be having, the raffle that we will have, and the ticket sales will go directly to the Helena Symphony and continuing our music making. It's going to be an incredibly exciting event, and we hope that everybody will attend.
And and so we have so much going on. So between this upcoming concert on October 23rd, it's Saturday, then literally 2 weeks after that, or we have a Symphony Kids concert, and then a week after that we have Mozart by Candlelight, one of the non-series, and then a week after that is the fundraiser, the Happy Birthday, and a few days early before my birthday, but nonetheless, November is a busy month for the Symphony and for our community. So there's a lot going on. The HelenaSymphony.org website is fantastic, and you can find out all this stuff.
Definitely, and we also encourage everyone to follow us on social media, on Instagram, Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube to keep up with all of our live stream concerts this season. There are so many ways to get connected and involved with the Symphony and really keep up with everything that we're doing because it is such a busy season. And we're just so excited to be back. It's just the energy of the concert hall and the energy of the staff and the musicians. It's absolutely incredible to experience, and we hope that all of you will experience it with us this season. Is there anything else that you want to talk about?
I'm really excited
concert?
to be able to, an honor that we can do this sort of memorial, if you will, but in a way that's still when we remember somebody, Brahms says that we're the ones left behind, right? Not the person that died. And Brahms says we should remember their good works, remember who they were, and not just how we lost them. So this is an opportunity to remember them in a powerful way, in a healing way that helps us grieve in a healthy way through music, and in a way that's as our current president says, one day that their remembrance brings more of a smile and less of a tear, and so that's what this music can do.
Definitely. Well, and I just want to take a moment to thank our sponsors, to AARP Montana, Treasure State Internet and Telegraph, and First Montana Land Title, who is the concert sponsor of this concert. All of you at home who watch the concerts, everyone who donates, and of course our sponsors make all of this possible. And we are incredibly excited for the concert. It will be October 23rd at 7:30 p.m. Single tickets are available now. Subscriptions are still available. And of course, single tickets to both Christmas in the Cathedral and Mozart by Candlelight are on sale. They will sell out quickly, so get yours now. Thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us, and we have an incredibly exciting season ahead of us. So thank you everyone for tuning in.